In the deepest heart of winter, where nights stretch their longest and the world is enveloped in a serene hush, there emerges a time of vibrant festivity. Today's Christmas, with its dazzling array of lights, bursts of laughter, and deep-seated longing, is but a modern tapestry woven from the threads of ancient traditions. Beneath its glittering veneer lie the subtle shadows and echoes of time-honored rites and whispered myths, whispering tales of yesteryears. Long before the shimmer of tinsel graced our homes, before the merry figure of Santa Claus was etched into the lore of Christmas, there stood Yule, the archaic and primal celebration of midwinter. This was a period of profound reverence, a time when the Norse and Germanic tribes listened intently to the murmurs of nature and the silent songs of their gods. Amidst the crisp chill of the air and the enigmatic embrace of prolonged darkness, they discovered not just reasons to hope, but also to celebrate, to feast, and most importantly, to endure. In this hallowed season, every snowflake and every whispering pine spoke of ancient beliefs and enduring customs. The Yule celebration was more than just a mere acknowledgement of the winter solstice. It was a testament to the indomitable human spirit, finding light in the deepest gloom, warmth in the biting cold, and community in the solemnity of the long winter nights. But within the shadows of these long-forgotten midwinter nights, what hidden truths linger? How did the ancient rites, once whispered in reverence under the cold, starlit skies, transform into the Christmas we recognize today? Beneath the jubilant facade of our modern celebrations lies a darker tale, a narrative of transformation and adaptation, steeped in the depths of our collective history. This story, though often cloaked in the merriment of contemporary festivities, is marked by the silent echoes of a tumultuous past. It is a saga born from the ancient roots of pagan culture, a story not just of adaptation, but of conquest and resilience. The Yule of old, once a cornerstone of Norse and Germanic tradition, stood at the precipice of a world changing beyond recognition. As the centuries turned, the ancient ways faced the inexorable tides of change. The old gods and their followers, once free to celebrate the turning of the seasons, found themselves caught in the cross-currents of an evolving world. The once revered rituals and beliefs were increasingly overshadowed, co-opted, and in many instances persecuted under the growing influence of new ideologies. In the brooding silence of winter's longest nights, the remnants of these ancient practices clung to the shadows, subtly influencing the evolving traditions. The merry lights and songs of Christmas, though bright and uplifting, carry within them whispers of a more complex past, a time when the solstice was not just a cause for celebration, but a vital anchor in a world of uncertainty and change. This journey from the ancient Yule to today's Christmas is a tale of survival and transformation. It's a narrative that speaks to the resilience of cultural identity in the face of sweeping changes. Amidst the festive cheer and conviviality of our contemporary Christmas lies a poignant reminder of the forgotten past. A past where the joy of the solstice was tempered by the struggle for cultural survival and the relentless march of time. Before we embark on this journey through time and tradition, it is important to acknowledge the complexity and nuance of history. The story of Yule's transformation into Christmas, like many historical narratives, is layered and multifaceted. It is not a tale of simple dichotomies or clear-cut morality. As we explore the ancient roots of these winter celebrations and their evolution through the ages, we do so with the understanding that history does not always fit neatly into categories of good or bad. The beliefs, practices, and choices of past cultures should be considered in the context of their own times and environments, not solely through the lens of contemporary morality and judgment. This documentary aims to tell a story, one of many possible interpretations of historical events and cultural shifts. It is a story that seeks to illuminate, not to judge, to explore, not to define. As we delve into the past, let us do so with an open mind and a respect for the complexity of human history. In the lands we now know as Scandinavia, the British Isles, and parts of Northern Europe, where winters were not only a season, but a profound challenge, our ancestors observed the natural world with a keen, survivalist eye. Here, amidst the dense, whispering forests and the towering, solemn mountains, the winter solstice was not just a change of seasons, it was a pivotal spiritual and existential juncture deeply woven into the fabric of life. During these ancient times, well before the Viking Age dawned, and centuries prior to the Norman conquest that reshaped Europe, the political landscape was a complex tapestry of tribes and chieftains. Each tribe, with its unique customs, beliefs, and rituals, contributed to a rich, diverse cultural quilt. Yet, despite their differences, a common thread of winter rites wove through their lives, marking the solstice as a moment of universal significance across these frost-laden lands. Envision the world as it was around 200 to 500 AD, an epoch shrouded in the mists of history, yet vibrant with ancient rituals. This era, shadowed by the twilight years of the Roman Empire and predating the Viking raids that would later reshape Europe, was a time of profound cultural ferment. It was in this distant, almost mythical past, far removed from later epochal events like the spread of Christianity or the Crusades, that Yule, or Joel, was fervently celebrated, a beacon of light and hope in the deep winter. Yule, or Joel, in the Norse tradition, was far more than a mere festival. It was a vital lifeline during the coldest, darkest days of winter. In this time of deep darkness, it stood as a testament to human resilience and a celebration deeply rooted in mysticism and the veneration of nature. Under the shroud of the long winter nights, tales of Odin and the wild hunt echoed through the frosty air, weaving a tapestry of fear, awe, and reverence in the face of nature's stark, unyielding power. As the earth makes its solemn tilt away from the sun, ushering in the longest nights and the profound chill of winter, ancient cultures across the breadth of our world would pause, their eyes and spirits turned in quiet reverence. The winter solstice was not merely an astronomical milestone. It was a moment richly imbued with deep spiritual significance, a celestial pivot point that held profound existential meaning. Across diverse lands, this time was a sacred juncture, a reminder of the delicate balance of light and darkness in the cosmos and within themselves. In the frost-laden realms of the Celts, the solstice was a time for introspective rituals and quiet communion with the natural world. Farther north, the Germanic and Norse peoples greeted the darkness with great bonfires, their flames a bold and defiant blaze against the encroaching shadows. Meanwhile, at the enigmatic Stonehenge, its ancient stones aligned with the solstice sun, revealing a profound and mysterious understanding of the cosmos. Each culture, in its unique way, marked this time with traditions that reflected their deep connection to the cycles of nature and the heavens. These venerable celebrations transcended mere tradition. They were a profound communion with the very essence of nature, an acknowledgement of the eternal cycles of life and death, of light yielding to darkness and darkness to light. In the embrace of the longest nights, there was a palpable intermingling of fear, hope, and an overwhelming reverence for the forces of nature. These forces did not merely shape the external world, they were central to shaping their beliefs, their myths, and the very fabric of their existence. As we delve into the ancient Norse celebration of Yule, or Joel, we find ourselves at the crossroads of history and legend. Our journey is guided by the fragments of historical evidence, and the rich tapestry of folklore that has survived through the ages. While the full picture of Norse Yule traditions remains elusive, shrouded in the mists of time, the practices and symbols that have come down to us offer a fascinating glimpse into a world where the natural and the mystical were deeply and inextricably intertwined. In the heart of the relentless Nordic winter, the evergreen stood as a vibrant symbol of life's persistence amidst the snowbound landscape. The Norse people, partaking in rituals that likely stretched back beyond the reach of recorded history, ventured into the frosty depths of their forests. There, they carefully selected pine, spruce, and holly, not merely for their ability to endure the harsh winter, but as potent emblems of life's enduring triumph over the deathly grip of winter. Within the walls of a Norse homestead, these evergreen boughs were far more than mere winter decor. They were revered, perhaps imbued with mystical properties, protectors against malevolent spirits, or sanctuaries for benevolent forest entities. This practice, steeped in the veneration of nature central to Norse culture, was a means to bring the sacred essence of the outdoors into their homes, a comforting, living presence in the most inhospitable of seasons. The meticulous crafting of wreaths and other evergreen adornments was more than a Yule pastime. It was a ritual infused with meaning. Each wreath, a circle without beginning or end, was perhaps a profound symbol of the Norse understanding of the cyclical nature of life and the seasons. When these wreaths were placed upon doors or walls, they may have served as powerful talismans, invoking the enduring resilience and rebirth inherent in nature, even as the world outside lay in a dormant, wintry slumber. In the wintry realm of ancient Europe, the Germanic tribes marked the winter solstice not just with gatherings, but with exuberant celebrations, deeply entrenched in their cultural ethos. These events transcended typical social gatherings, embodying a rich tapestry of communal identity and spirit. Amidst the bleakness of winter, their solstice observances were infused with an intensity reflective of their societal and spiritual fabric. A pivotal element of these spirited solstice festivities was the convivial indulgence in feasting, and especially in drinking. Mead, artfully crafted from honey, and robust ales were not mere refreshments. They were pillars of the Germanic tradition of revelry. The act of sharing a drink, toasting to the deities, the earth, and to life itself, transcended a simple ritual, becoming a crucial facet of community bonding and bringing warmth to the winter's starkness. As the Norse and Germanic cultures intertwined, their traditions melded into a rich, shared heritage. The Germanic enthusiasm for robust celebrations, particularly their communal drinking rites, seamlessly integrated into the evolving Yule customs. This exuberant celebration of life's simpler joys, particularly during the solstice, solidified as a fundamental aspect of these festivities, a nod to the universal human yearning for connection and warmth in winter's depths. Today's Yule and Christmas observances resonate with the reverberations of these ancient Germanic rituals. The shared joy, the festive toasting, and the communal spirit inherent in partaking a drink trace back to an era when such acts were integral to honoring the winter season. These enduring practices, woven through time, serve as a reminder of our perpetual link to the past, celebrating the timeless pleasures that have united humanity in festivity across the ages. Venturing into the heart of the ancient Roman Empire during the winter months, we discover a celebration distinct in character yet equally exuberant, the festival of Saturnalia. Dedicated to Saturn, the god of agriculture, this Roman tradition was a time of high-spirited revelry and a temporary upending of the established social hierarchy. Saturnalia, heralded as a period of feasting, liberation, and benevolence, began on December 17th and spanned a week. During this time, the rigors of work and commerce were set aside. Slaves experienced a fleeting emancipation, relishing the freedom to speak and act without restraint, while gifts were exchanged in a gesture of mutual goodwill. The streets and homes of Rome were bedecked with wreaths and greenery, symbols of the abundance and prosperity bestowed by Saturn. Following closely after Saturnalia, the Romans celebrated Sol Invictus, the unconquered sun, on December 25th. This festival was a homage to the sun god, commemorating the resurgence of light after the winter solstice. Sol Invictus was a deeply significant observance, symbolizing not just the lengthening days, but also the sun's victory over the long nights of winter. As Christianity began to permeate the Roman Empire, these ingrained pagan festivals started to merge with Christian observances. The convergence of Saturnalia and Sol Invictus with Christian beliefs laid a foundation for the integration of Christmas into this festive period. Thus, December 25th emerged as the date to celebrate the birth of Christ. Traditions such as the adorning of homes with festive greenery, the exchange of gifts, and the celebration of light, once the hallmarks of Roman festivities, became woven into the fabric of Christmas, a testament to the enduring legacy of these ancient Roman traditions. In the early centuries AD, as Christianity began to unfurl its influence, it found itself in a world under the sway of the Roman Empire, embedded with pagan customs. This era was marked by significant political and religious transformation, notably catalyzed by Emperor Constantine's conversion to Christianity in the early 4th century, heralding a gradual shift from paganism to Christianity. In this diverse religious milieu, early Christians embarked on a path of strategic adaptation. Confronted with the plethora of existing festivals like Saturnalia, Sol Invictus, Celtic Samhain, and the Germanic Yule, they sought to infuse these celebrations with Christian symbolism. This assimilation was a deliberate, thoughtful process, aimed at establishing resonance with the prevailing pagan beliefs and practices. As decades passed, this integration of traditions grew more intricate. The selection of December 25th, a date resonant with the festival of Sol Invictus, came to signify the birth of Christ. Similarly, Easter, a foundational pillar of Christian faith, was aligned with pagan spring celebrations, embracing symbols such as the Easter egg as an emblem of rebirth and renewal. These decisions were not merely spiritual, they were also politically motivated, seeking to forge unity within a religiously diverse empire. The Christmas and Easter we observe today, with their intricate blend of Christian teachings and pagan customs, stand as a testament to this historical syncretism. They exemplify the dynamic nature of religious traditions, demonstrating how different cultural and spiritual strands can be woven together into a tapestry that is both cohesive and enduring, echoing the adaptability and evolution of religious practices over time. As Christianity spread through Europe, it encountered the deeply rooted traditions of Yule amidst a backdrop of cultural and religious strife. The blending of Yule customs into the Christian celebration of Christmas was a complex process, marked not only by peaceful integration, but also by violent clashes between diverging beliefs and practices. This tumultuous era saw the gradual reshaping of Christmas, influenced as much by conflict and coercion as by cultural exchange. The Yule log, a key component of Norse and Germanic Yule, became a point of cultural contention before it was assimilated into Christmas traditions. Originally a symbol of the returning sun, its significance was reinterpreted in a Christian context, though not without resistance. The log's transformation into a symbol of Christ's light entering the world was a microcosm of the broader, often forceful fusion of pagan and Christian practices. The adoption of evergreens and mistletoe into Christmas decor also mirrored the turbulent nature of these cultural exchanges. While evergreens came to represent eternal life in Christian symbolism, this transition was not seamless and was often fraught with tension as old beliefs were challenged or suppressed. Mistletoe, with its pagan connotations of fertility, was integrated more as a folkloric element, a subtle nod to its pre-Christian roots amidst the prevailing religious transformations. Over centuries, the blending of Yule and Christmas evolved amidst a backdrop of cultural conflict and assimilation. The resulting Christmas traditions, though predominantly Christian in religious significance, bore the marks of this uneasy synthesis, reflecting a history of cultural upheaval as much as a tale of adaptation and inclusion. In the pantheon of Norse mythology, Odin, the Allfather, stands as a towering and mysterious figure. Revered as a deity of wisdom, war, and the afterlife, he is also celebrated for his mystical and prophetic abilities. During the Yule season, Odin was believed to spearhead the wild hunt, a spectral procession in the winter sky, a tradition deeply ingrained in Norse winter festivities. The wild hunt, far from being a mere myth, symbolized the intertwining of natural forces and the supernatural realm. Odin, astride his 8-legged steed Sleipnir, was said to traverse the skies during this time. In anticipation, children would leave treats in their boots for Sleipnir, in hopes that Odin, in turn, would leave behind gifts. With the expansion of Christianity across Europe, elements of the Odin myth began to weave into the evolving narrative of Santa Claus. The tradition of gift-giving, reminiscent of the treats for Sleipnir, parallels the modern Christmas custom of hanging stockings. Furthermore, Odin's majestic, bearded visage underwent a transformation, amalgamating with Christian and secular traits to influence the early depictions of Santa Claus. Concurrently, with the Norse legends of Odin, the 4th century witnessed the life of Saint Nicholas of Myra, a Christian bishop renowned for his compassion and generosity, particularly towards children. Saint Nicholas's feast day on December 6th became an integral part of early Christian tradition, celebrated for his acts of kindness. As Christianity permeated the Germanic and Norse regions between the 8th and 10th centuries, the veneration of Saint Nicholas began to meld with the existing pagan traditions, including those of Odin. The Yule practice of gift-giving, once linked with Odin, gradually became associated with Saint Nicholas. Children setting out shoes on the eve of his feast day to find them filled with gifts the next morning became a widespread tradition. Through the centuries, this amalgamation of traditions crystallized into the figure of Santa Claus. By the 16th century, particularly in regions like England, where Saint Nicholas was less celebrated, the legend of Father Christmas took shape, integrating elements from both Odin and Saint Nicholas. Depicted as a genial, bearded man, often riding a horse or sleigh and delivering gifts, this figure laid the groundwork for the modern Santa Claus. The Santa Claus known today, a cheerful, white-bearded figure with reindeer and a sleigh, is the culmination of centuries of evolution and cultural blending. While this modern portrayal diverges significantly from the solemn and mystical Odin, it retains subtle echoes of these ancient myths, illustrating the dynamic transformation of cultural symbols across different times and belief systems. By the 4th century AD, following Emperor Constantine's conversion and the Edict of Milan, Christianity began its marked expansion across the Roman Empire, venturing into realms steeped in pagan traditions. This era, characterized by significant religious and cultural shifts, presented the early Church with formidable challenges as it sought to establish itself in predominantly pagan territories. Amidst this turbulent religious landscape, pagan festivals, particularly those related to the winter solstice, were repurposed to align with the Christian narrative. The rebranding of these times of pagan significance as Christian celebrations, such as the birth of Christ, was a strategic maneuver. However, this integration often resulted in the suppression and sometimes the outright eradication of long-standing pagan customs and rituals. This period also witnessed the more oppressive facets of conversion. The destruction of pagan temples, the vilification of pre-Christian deities, and the persecution of non-Christian adherents were not uncommon. Accounts from early Christian writers, juxtaposed with those from later pagan historians, paint a picture of an era rife with religious strife and forced conversions. By the millennium's close, Christianity had ascended to predominance in Europe. This shift, instrumental in the widespread dissemination of Christian beliefs, came at the expense of numerous pagan cultures. The Christianization of Europe was a multifaceted process, marked by both assimilation and conflict, profoundly altering the continent's religious and cultural landscape. In the nascent years of the Christian Church, the precise date of Jesus Christ's birth was a topic of considerable debate. The Gospels did not specify a date, leading to a variety of interpretations among early Christian theologians. The eventual designation of December 25th as the celebration of Christ's birth emerged from a confluence of theological reasoning, traditional practices, and political considerations. December 25th was significant in the Roman calendar, marking the festival of Sol Invictus, a celebration of the unconquered sun coinciding with the winter solstice. This date's choice for Christ's birth by the early church was strategic, symbolizing the conquest of the Sun of Righteousness over pagan darkness. Theologically, figures like John Chrysostom posited that Christ's birth could be deduced from the Annunciation's assumed date, March 25th, culminating in December 25th as the date of his birth. Politically, aligning this date with a well-established pagan festival facilitated the Roman populace's transition to Christianity. The Church's decision, championed by leaders such as Pope Julius I, was a calculated effort to Christianize popular pagan celebrations. The adoption of December 25th as the date of Christ's birth did not achieve immediate universal acceptance, but gradually gained prominence across the Christian world. This date became a pivotal element of Christian tradition, effectively amalgamating and overshadowing many pre-existing pagan celebrations. Today, the selection of December 25th for Christmas exemplifies the early Church's strategic approach in shaping the Christian liturgical calendar. While it successfully embedded the Christian narrative within the cultural milieu of the era, it also led to the transformation and, in some cases, the loss of older pagan traditions. The enduring legacy of this decision is a Christmas celebration deeply intertwined with historical circumstances as well as religious significance. In today's world, a rekindled interest in ancient pagan traditions has led to the revival of Yule within contemporary pagan and heathen circles. This resurgence is part of a larger movement to reconnect with pre-Christian spiritual practices and to honor the natural cycles of the earth. Contemporary Yule celebrations in these communities artfully blend historical customs with modern perspectives. The burning of the Yule log, symbolizing the return of light in winter's depth, remains a central ritual. Additionally, modern celebrants engage in practices that pay homage to the natural world, observing the winter solstice as a time for introspection and rejuvenation. In these festivities, symbols like evergreens, representing enduring life, and the wheel of the year, depicting the cyclical nature of seasons, hold prominence. Alongside these, rituals may include offerings and toasts to Norse deities and nature spirits, underscoring a profound respect for the interconnectedness of all life and the earth's rhythms. Yule also serves as a nexus for community and fellowship. Gatherings and communal feasts unite individuals and groups, fostering an exchange of traditions, knowledge, and a reinforcement of communal ties. These assemblies are often inclusive, embracing those who seek to participate and learn about these venerable traditions. In an age where balancing modernity with spiritual and ecological consciousness is increasingly sought after, Yule offers a poignant link to our ancestral connection with the natural world. Its revival in contemporary paganism and heathenry symbolizes not just a resurgence of ancient practices, but a testament to the enduring human desire to find meaning and solace in the rhythms of nature. This amalgamation of traditions is vividly seen in contemporary Christmas celebrations. Church services commemorating the birth of Christ coexist with secular practices, like gift-giving, rooted in both the Christian story of the Magi and pagan customs from Saturnalia and Yule. The illumination of candles and Christmas lights, a shared theme between Christian and pagan solstice observances, symbolizes the prevailing of light over darkness. Christmas's universal allure lies in its capacity to integrate diverse cultural elements. It is a time that unites people, irrespective of their religious affiliations, in a shared celebration of generosity, familial bonds, and the joy of existence. Contemporary Christmas, in its eclectic form, stands as a tribute to humanity's ability to adapt, merge, and forge new traditions from the old. As our journey through the history and evolution of Christmas and Yule concludes, we behold a rich tapestry of traditions, a collage that spans diverse cultures and bridges centuries. These traditions are dynamic, evolving entities, shaped and reshaped by the myriad cultures from which they have emerged. They breathe life into our celebrations, continuously adapting and growing, much like the societies that birthed them. In the role of a modern warrior shaman, creating this documentary is akin to following in the footsteps of ancient warrior shamans. They stood as custodians of their people's lore, serving as conduits between the ancestral and the present, the tangible and the ethereal. My quest in unraveling the roots of our contemporary festivities is a continuation of their venerable mission, striving to unearth and preserve the wisdom and traditions of bygone eras. In the contemporary fusion of Christmas, a celebration interwoven with Christian and pagan strands, we find ourselves reflecting on the timeless human search for meaning and connection. These festivities resonate with the ancient wisdom that warrior shamans endeavored to safeguard, a profound understanding of the interplay between nature's cycles and the human condition. Grasping the historical and cultural origins of Christmas connects us to something transcendent, beyond the immediate realm of our individual experiences. As a warrior shaman, I embrace the profound impact of this knowledge. It not only enriches our appreciation for our traditions, but also brings the sagacity of the past into our present lives. This documentary transcends a mere historical account. It is a spiritual odyssey, honoring the legacy of the ancient warrior shamans and the indomitable spirit of humanity.